In 1817, the thick forests of Robertson County, Tennessee, were incredibly isolated. Life out here meant carving an existence out of the wilderness, miles away from immediate help. John Bell, a prosperous patriarch, had done exactly that. He and his family, including his young daughter Betsy, had established a thriving, secure farm representing pioneer success. That security fractured late in the year. At dusk, the family noticed strange, unidentifiable animal-like shadows darting along the edges of the tree line. The disturbance quickly moved indoors. Heavy, rhythmic knocking started echoing from deep beneath the cabin's floorboards, reverberating up into the walls. The sounds manifested into physical force. Bed covers were yanked into the darkness. Unseen hands began striking the children in their beds as they slept. You cannot fight an enemy you cannot see. The family found themselves trapped in the dark, entirely defenseless against a formless attacker at home. Frontier settlers prided themselves on absolute self-reliance. The sudden transition from complete independence to absolute vulnerability turned this isolated farm into the site of America's most documented supernatural siege. The violent knocking was only a primitive start. Soon the entity learned to mimic human sounds, echoing gasps and guttural whispers through the cabin. Those whispers eventually formed a clear, projected voice. The unseen intruder introduced itself to the family, claiming to be the witch of a local woman named Kate Batts. It offered a highly specific human motive. The voice claimed it had come to collect on a bitter local land dispute, holding John Bell personally responsible for the wrong. While John was the target of its wrath, his daughter Betsy absorbed the brunt of the kinetic violence. The force would viciously pull her hair and deliver strikes sharp enough to leave deep, visible welts on her skin. The environmental manipulation inside the cabin amplified. Heavy furniture slid across rough floorboards, and household objects were launched across the room by nothing at all. A random physical anomaly is frightening, but a voice articulating a clear motive escalates the situation. This was a premeditated campaign of psychological warfare. Word of a talking spirit travels fast. Skeptical neighbors and local clergy descended on the cabin in Adams, fully intending to expose a clever family hoax. Instead, they became unwilling participants. These visitors arrived and left horrified, reporting physical blows and clairvoyant conversations about deeply guarded secrets. Modern researchers categorize this as a poltergeist clustering effect. While terrifying to everyone, the violent energy remained intensely concentrated on John and Betsy. The entity was relentless, actively mocking the patriarch's failing body and gloating over his visible deterioration day and night. Because local religious leaders and respected neighbors put their reputations on the line to corroborate these specific details, a private family terror became a verifiable historical record that defied logical explanation. By late 1820, John Bell was completely incapacitated. The unseen force now had absolute run of the household. On the morning of December 20th, the family found him dead. Resting right next to his bed was a strange dark glass vial filled with an unidentified black liquid. The voice didn't leave them guessing. It gleefully confessed to forcing the poison down John's throat, delivering on its earliest threats. Following John Bell's funeral, the severe violence abruptly ceased. The primary target was gone, and the heavy, active siege lifted almost immediately. The meticulous documentation of these events shaped an entire literary movement, embedding itself deeply into the dark, rural folklore of the Southern Gothic tradition. Today, that deeply terrifying 19th century ordeal has been commodified. The legend drives a thriving paranormal tourism industry, with visitors flocking to explore the nearby Bell Witch Cave with flashlights in hand. Historians and folklorists continue to debate the source. Explanations range from a meticulously coordinated family hoax and mass psychological contagion to genuine supernatural phenomena. But the exact cause hardly matters to the story's survival. It endures because it strips away our most basic comfort, exploring what happens when an invisible, inescapable enemy locks you inside your own sanctuary.